I'm Lexi Novitske, General Partner at Norrsken22, one of Africa's largest, but also newest tech funds investing across the continent. What is the most important thing on my radar right now and why? I would have to say it's really the incredible demographic trends that we see across the African continent. In Africa, the average age of the population is 18, and that means that it's actually going to be one of the primary drivers for young people across the world. By the end of the century, 40% of working age people will be in Africa. And that means a young demographic, essentially born with a mobile phone in their hand, who've never had access to certain services because they've been out of reach, out of price range. Now they're able to access all of this through the mobile device in their hand. And that's an incredible opportunity for all of the tech solutions that are either built here on the continent or expanding into the region. What is happening in the world now that I think is not getting enough attention or consideration? Not to feel like a broken record, but there's actually some countries within the African continent that have seen little to no foreign direct investment. I just came away from an incredible trip in the DRC in Kinshasa. And this is a country that is set to reach about 150 to 200 million people in the coming 10 years. Kinshasa itself, probably about 11 million people, extremely young, really looking to adopt digital solutions when they've had nothing before, no access to bank accounts. They're adopting mobile solutions instead. And I think this story replicates itself across the entire region in many of these underserved African countries. So while we're seeing the population shifts of Asia, Europe really kind of go the opposite direction with an aging population, we're seeing the opposite in Africa. An average of 6 births per woman really will be the driver for growth across the entire world. And I would say this is also, for a large extent, highly trained entrepreneurial talent as well that's coming online. What is the most interesting or valuable thing that I read or watched recently? I've actually recently read a very old book called The Guerrilla Game, which was written about looking for trends and how to invest in more developed stock markets. But I actually took a lot of learnings away from that when it comes to investing in the private equity and venture landscape in emerging markets. Focus on a sector that you really like, that you think will have big tailwinds behind it, given the economic shifts that you're seeing, and diversify and spread out your interests in many of those investments, and then really double down on those that have seen, in my case, strong product market fit and really seem to be the winners in the ecosystem. What's the one thing on the horizon that I'm looking forward to? Well, we have, over the past year, I think, come out of an environment where a lot of international VCs were starting to really show a lot of interest in the market. We saw Tiger Global, some of these great big names invest quite aggressively and probably inflate valuations than was realistic for the market dynamics. I mean, there still are a lot of risk factors that international investors don't always realize. Currency, certain social political issues. And that has meant that I think really the top winners in the ecosystem have come to the forefront, and the serious investors that are not just tourist investors, as we would like to say, are doubling down on really supporting those winners. And we'll see some incredible companies come out of that, whether it's in payments or identity or supply chain commerce across the continent. We're also seeing a lot of these companies, by the way, expand outside of Africa. So taking a lower cost talent pool and building products, and some of the great big trends that are shaping the global landscape, such as AI, and serving a US, European, much more developed market setting. So that's also something quite interesting to watch out for. And people can follow me and learn more. Our website is Norrsken22.com. And please find me on LinkedIn and Twitter, also Instagram, but much more about my kite surfing and other expedition exploits on Instagram.